Today, we're going to dig into something that, let's be honest, we all face that quiet, internal battle just to keep moving forward. We're going to break down the mechanics of personal resilience using some really powerful insights. So let's jump right in. Our journey starts with this one, kind of intense word, Leviathan. It basically means something huge, powerful, and, yeah, maybe a little intimidating. Picture a giant sea monster or just some massive, overwhelming force. Just kind of keep that image in your head for a minute. Because that feeling of facing a Leviathan, it connects directly to this question. What actually keeps you going when the finish line feels like it's a million miles away? And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a real, practical question we all answer with our actions every single day. So what's our modern-day Leviathan? Well, it's not some mythical beast, right? It's that daily mountain of tasks. It's trying to juggle a workout, maybe 2 jobs, and then deal with home repairs on top of it all. It's that feeling that your to-do list has turned into this giant, unconquerable creature. So how in the world do you defeat a monster? Well, you don't try to swallow it whole. The strategy we're looking at here is beautifully simple. You face it one bite at a time. This is that key moment where we shift from feeling totally overwhelmed to actually taking back control. And here is where this big idea becomes a real, concrete plan. First, you gotta pace yourself. You can't burn out. Second, write it all down. Get it out of your head and onto paper so you can see it. Third, set a reasonable deadline. And reasonable is the key word there, not an impossible one. Then, you just take one bite. You handle one small task. And finally, and listen, this part is absolutely crucial. You have to acknowledge the accomplishment. You have to give yourself that credit for the progress you just made. And this gets right to the psychological power of that last step. See, it's not just about shrinking a to-do list. It's about that feeling of relief, that little hit of victory that comes with each small win. That feeling is the fuel that helps you take the next bite and then the next one. But look, a good strategy is only half the battle. We all know this. On those days when you just want to give up, you need something more. And that's where we have to focus on the why, the deeper motivation, the real fuel for the fight. We all know this internal tug of war, right? There's that little voice of temptation whispering, just give in, do less. It's easier. But then there's the reason, that conscious choice to see this moment as an opportunity, a chance to boost yourself toward the best life you can possibly have. The crucial thing is, what does that best life even look like? Well, it's rooted in your overall well-being. It's about building that future lifestyle you can picture, even if you've only got some rough sketches of it right now. And it's about the humble but really powerful act of just grabbing what you can, one day at a time, and knowing that it's all going to add up. And this brings us to our final and maybe the most beautiful idea here. If you take those small bites and you remember your why, something pretty incredible starts to happen. Courage begins to grow, not with some loud bang, but through quiet, consistent progress. Just take a moment with this quote. It's not about these sudden, heroic acts. No, it's about the unseen work, the daily effort that happens below the surface. Like roots spreading through the soil, your resilience is building, getting stronger, even when no one else can see it happening. The meaning here is so simple and yet so profound. Strength isn't something you're just born with, it's something you build. Every small act of resilience, every single bite you take out of your Leviathan, it adds to a foundation that will eventually carry you way farther than you ever thought possible. And this is just the perfect image to leave you with. That tiny little sprout doesn't look like much, but it has the force to literally break through the soil and reach for the sun. That is the power of quiet, consistent effort. That is the result of taming your beast one day at a time. So we end by turning this right back to you. We all have them, those big, overwhelming challenges. So take a moment to think about it. What Leviathan are you taming today? One small bite at a time.